That's really super awesome.
Yes. Just got a text from Sean. Are you guys on? So I just said I am with Jolie.
Okay, let me see if he comes. I'm going to add him again.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. And I'll add Tim again just in case.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him yet, but we'll see.
Okay, so hopefully we'll see.
I think it just takes a minute, but I think it worked last time, so I think it will.
So we're counting on it. So how are you doing?
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. It's me.
But why did it FaceTime over here?
Can you guys see me?
Now we can.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm multitasking tonight. My wife is leaving for Utah in the morning, and who gets to get her ready? Me.
That's awesome.
That's
Oh yeah.
good.
Who else? Who else we waiting on?
Sean and Emily. Sean says he hasn't received anything.
Oops. Okay, Emily hasn't either, so let me re-invite her.
Okay.
Okay. Oops. Okay. Let's see.
I texted him that you're sending another invite.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Well, the wife's going to Utah for what?
They're going out this week. I fly out next Thursday night. Oh, what time is our meeting? Yeah, I might.
Mountain time.
My flight leaves at like. I have to double check. Maybe if I'm on my layover, I could just hop on my phone.
Okay. Let us know.
No, my cousin's getting married out there on a week from Monday, which Monday's an odd day, but so yeah. So my wife and kids are all going out to go see family, and then I'll fly in next Thursday to also see family because like I haven't seen my brother in a year and my parents in I don't know 7 or 8 months.
Remind me where you are.
We're all see everybody, huh?
Remind me, where are you?
I'm in Des Moines.
Iowa. Okay.
Yeah, in Iowa, and the rest of my family's in California.
Okay. I knew you were Central Time.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember what state.
What is this?
So what's Emily and Sean?
Yeah, so I don't know why they wouldn't be getting these invites.
Don't know either. Just saw it trying to connect. Emily says she saw it, so.
Oh, good. Okay, well then I'll take her out of doing it again, and then hopefully that would mean that Sean would also be getting it if he's. Did Sean reply yet today? Yeah, he did. So.
You sent it to SeanAPrice08@gmail.com.
Yep. Hey, there's Emily.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Sorry, got distracted.
It's the night of distraction, huh?
Apparently.
Okay. He says he's not seeing anything.
Okay, I'll put him in one more time here. You know, he didn't come in last. You know, he wasn't there last week, so
Right.
there's a chance
Designs and builds things too.
that
New day in your story. Be inspired with Disney.
we'll see if he sees anything, and if not,
Got a buddy there, Emily?
What was that?
Got a buddy there?
Yep. Daddy's at work, so I'll be right back. Gotta get her fishies.
Okay.
all the important balance stuff, huh?
Hey, Sean joined. Hey, Sean.
Look at that! How exciting! Okay. Oh, and I'm closing up my book now. I figure, okay, job's done. Meeting's over.
It is, kind of.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool.
So, all right, we should get started with a prayer. Would anyone like to offer to do that?
I'll be happy to.
Okay, thank you, Joey.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day that we've had and this wonderful opportunity that we get to get together as a team and discuss our case studies. And Heavenly Father, we ask that this evening that You're with us and that You can open our minds and You can open our hearts to learning and discussion, and that we might be able to help support each other and encourage each other and build each other up and one another. Say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Hey, Emily, do you want to just mute it when you're not talking?
Sure. Sorry.
That'll work. And then, of course, please talk, but when you're not, then that would help. Okay, so let's see. The case study we're talking about is Martha Rinaldi.
Wait, hold on. I just have to say that Tim, does anyone know who Ziggy is?
Who what?
No? Ziggy, the cartoon Ziggy with just the nose. It's like just the eyes and the nose. That's exactly what Tim looks like. In
Oh, he's only
so sorry, that's totally.
tonight.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, what would we do without you, Jolie? You make us laugh. Okay, so it's Martha Rinaldi. Should she stay or should she go? Sean, would you give us like a quick synopsis of the case?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah?
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Ah, perfect. My mic's not working, so I have to use my computer. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, so in essence, she is taking a job. She had 2 job offers, just finished her MBA, had 2 job offers. Took one that paid less, about $15,000 less than the other job offer, and now she's kind of wondering if she should have taken the other job offer. Very poor team that she works with as pertains to attitude and whatnot, so she's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard spot, deciding if she wants to leave the company, if she wants to reach out to a different team within the company to see if she wants to join their team, or again, if she wants to leave to the pizza place that she was thinking. So that's kind of where we're at now, I guess, is seeing where she wants to go. That's kind of where she stands.
Right, thank you.
I don't know if that was enough.
What did you say?
I don't know if that was enough.
Yeah, because we're going to talk more in detail, so that's a good high-level synopsis. Obviously, the situation now is that she's, she doesn't know what to do, how to deal with like this boss, and she is concerned. It says in there at one point that the fact that they're kind of difficult to work with, which has been mentioned by other people in the company, because they're difficult to work with, she may lose out on, career opportunities because of it. So she's concerned about that, obviously. So that's why we're where we are, right? So how did this situation come about? Just like to kind of discuss how it came about that she got herself into this, or somehow things worked out that she's in this situation.
Wait, say that again?
How did this situation come about where she's trying to figure out whether she should stay or what she should do?
Like, how did the situation come about?
Like, why is she in the position she's in?
Well, she got a messed up manager.
Yeah.
Who's possibly having an affair with the other dude.
Yes. That sounds like people just gossiping to me, but it's possible.
Right. I mean, they do allude to that there was a intimate moment going on.
Yeah.
When he's sitting on her desk, which is a little awkward. But then she has a guy who probably feels threatened by her because of her education that he doesn't have, but he has, real world experience. So, yeah.
That's a good point. Those are good points. Yes, I think that he's definitely threatened by her, and he certainly doesn't want to help her succeed, does he?
No.
Do you think there's a possibility that he's not necessarily threatened, but perhaps just annoyed? Sometimes,
Yeah.
people come out and they're a little annoying also.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
That's true.
I'd say he's definitely annoyed, but I think there's also more to it than that because he's trying to make himself look better by like that situation where he asked her to do the PowerPoint and then he sends the email to or forwards on the information to the boss. Like she doesn't want to do stuff, she thinks she's too good or whatever. Like he's trying to make himself look good and her look bad when doing that. So that's more than just being annoyed.
Yeah.
That's actually trying to actively make her look bad, which is wrong. So that's a problem. And then always talking bad about MBA people and like.
Yeah, I almost
Yeah.
wonder. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
I almost wonder if he's like intimidated because they're hiring all these new MBA grads and everything. I wonder if he's starting to feel like he has to kind of step up and try to outshine because maybe he feels like they're trying to replace his people with his type of experience. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And then the whole comment when she first gets there, what does he say? There's no such thing as a stupid question, but we prefer answers, so, good luck.
Right.
What in the world? I would be like, what? I would not be happy from day one. So she's lasted 4 months, so good for her. Okay. Let's see. So what should she do now? What do you guys think about that?
What should she do now? I don't know. You got to make the best of that rough situation there.
So you don't think she should go to deep dish or deep dive pizza?
Say that.
I don't think she was very assertive with anything really. And so in her performance review, they suggested that she needed to work on her assertiveness and then also something else.
Lack of initiative and assertiveness, usually quiet at meetings.
Right. So perhaps she could, since she's already made a choice, if she makes a change, that may not necessarily be beneficial to her. But how about she work on some of those traits, because they're important no matter where she goes. If she's allows herself to be led instead of directing herself, that's going to follow her. That's a personality trait. That's not necessarily a product of where she's at.
Yes, and it doesn't seem in keeping with what she was prior to this position. Maybe their actions just kind of threw her off. I don't know. But she seemed to be like a go-getter, which is why they loved her so much, both at this place and at Deep Dive, right?
Mm-hmm. No matter where you are, though, someone's actions can always throw you off. You have to know, you have to be solid within your core first.
Right.
And so you can have your actions, you can be thrown off, but eventually it's your responsibility to put yourself back on.
Right. So, so what was her contribution? Like, what's going on with her, I guess, and that's what we've already been talking about a little bit. But any other comments about, like, her behavior and
Well, I mean,
related
to the reading in the book for this week, when you look at how they bring in CEO, like the new CEO, he spends 2 weeks doing nothing, and they're like, she's not doing anything, but she's just gathering information. And everything she did after she gathered information was really calculated. And with this girl, and the other thing is she didn't let anything throw her off. Like, she didn't care who it was, what their agenda was. It's like, no, this is about teamwork. And look at these three. I mean, you can definitely say that they're dysfunctional, and you could say not working as a team. But I mean, when you look at her background, she, like in her MBA program, you work as a team a lot, and her internship, she worked as a team. So you could try and say, okay, well, here's how it kind of worked in the past. Here's what I've done, and maybe we could make suggestions. Or the other options, you gotta look out for yourself, I guess, if they're not willing to work as a team, I guess.
Any other thoughts or comments on her behavior?
I was just going to say it's a lot easier as a CEO, not speaking from experience obviously, but I can imagine as a CEO coming in, it's a lot easier to make that adjustment to feel like I don't care what you guys
Right.
say. It's a lot harder when you come in as like the underdog or somebody on a team.
Yeah.
I mean, in this position, I wouldn't listen to anything they had to say. In all honesty, I would care less what they had to say as far as what I should improve because I wouldn't respect them. I mean, they by no means represent something good. Like I mean, just the way the boss carries herself, her remarks, the way she sighs when the lady goes in to ask her questions, or just or overall. I mean, it's just, for me, if I were working there, one, I would either just leave, or two, I definitely wouldn't get myself down because of something they said I needed to improve. Obviously, you'd look at yourself and see if you need to improve, but I wouldn't hold much to it because their actions don't speak a whole lot for themselves. So for me, that's kind of how I'd see it. But.
I agree that they don't deserve her respect, and that they're definitely looking at things, particularly Miss Follett. She's looking at things from her own skewed perspective of this woman who barely spends any time with her. How can she possibly evaluate her? But you should always, I think, look and say, well, fight the source. Is this something that I could work on? Because it is all about, as Julie said, her improving and working on her own personality traits that could help her in her career. So I think while they don't deserve her listening to them, that doesn't mean that she shouldn't consider at least what they said.
Yeah, I do wonder at what point though you take it, right? Because like anything you do is not going to be good enough. So like, at what point do you say, you know what, that's enough? Let me switch teams, or
Right.
at what point do you?
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's really going to tear you down if people criticize you and they're hitting you with this and that and the other. I mean, it seems like it would be tough. So
Yeah, that's true. Something I noticed though is that the product managers changed assignments every 12 to 24 months. And that woman had already been in that position more than 2 years, so it seems that if she stuck it out, probably things would shake up soon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. And then also the senior guy, who was the vice president of marketing, he seemed to really want her to succeed. And so having that, like, would give me, like, the drive to kind of stick it out and figure out how to make things work with the company. Would you agree?
Yeah, doesn't she lose her temper a few times also? It's at least once, if not a few times.
I think maybe twice, but definitely the one time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, you gotta give her. It seemed to me that the people that she was working with were losing their tempers, you know, with her, or like treating her like, you know, they would walk all over her if she didn't talk back. But at the same time, you don't want to be screaming. There was one time where they were talking so loud, screaming at each other, whatever, everyone noticed. So that is not good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that is something she should work on. Is that what you're saying, Jolie?
Well, for sure. If you're losing your temper, no matter how someone's treating you, especially professionally, I think that, you know what, professionally or not, if I lose my temper with my family, I go down. I lose credibility. If I lose my temper with someone at church, my credibility not only goes down, it tanks, right? So,
Yeah.
So it's the same type of thing. We have a responsibility for our demeanor, regardless, and we have to fine-tune our own personalities to manage the way that we're coming off to other people. And so, even if she was right, we all can learn from that. We can all say, you know, there's something to be gained by learning how to rein in that and not be ignited by someone else to lose our own control.
Right. I agree. So, what about her manager, Follett? What was going on with her, and what was her contribution to the problems going on?
So earlier on in the case study, we talked about how they, I can't remember what case study it was or what specifically discussed, but it was something to the extent that somebody was put in a management position where they used to be the superstar, they used to be good, they couldn't make the transition as a manager, they weren't.
That was Follett. Yeah, that was somebody else in the department, like marketing department somewhere else, on a different team talking about Follett.
Well, I'm talking about a different case study though. I was going to reference her in this as well, but we talked about it a lot in a previous case study, but it kind of goes along with the same thing. She was awesome with what she did, and she struggled at making the transition into a management position for whatever reason, whether it's she likes this guy and they've kind of made a team. And I mean, I've seen it before. You know, this thing. I mean, it's not good to work with. It's not healthy to work with. It's not a healthy situation. But yeah, she's just not right now. Anyways, not that she can't become a good manager, but right now she's just not set up for that position right now. But
Okay. Anybody else comment on Miss Follett?
Yeah, like when I worked for CarMax, we had this thing where you were either like an engaged employee, meaning you were there to work, and there was like this list of things like an engaged employee would do. Then you had unengaged employees who were like distracted, separated, didn't care. They were just showed up, did their work, and left. Didn't want to go the extra mile or not even the extra step to try and further the business. And so like at our staff meetings, we would go over, okay, what are some things we can do, you know, and we would have open discussions. And when you look at her, she's what you'd call a completely disengaged employee, where she's not always like not present mentally or physically. I mean, she's working from home a lot of the time, and she just was there to get her work done and take off or work from home. But she also didn't have any motivation or drive to help this new girl.
That's a very good assessment, I think. Emily, you have any thoughts on Follett?
Yeah, I was gonna touch on that she doesn't seem to care that I can't remember her name, Martha, I think.
Martha.
Was gonna succeed. She was like, whatever, just do your thing. She wanted, what's the other guy on the team's name? I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me.
Vaughn.
What was that?
Jamie Vaughn.
Yeah, Jamie.
Yeah.
So yeah, she wanted Vaughn to just kind of take control and lead her. She didn't want to be the manager and be responsible for. Well, I think she wanted the responsibility for any success she might have had, but she didn't want to deal with any problems or help her get towards those goals. Like when she asked if she was going to have a performance review that she was promised, that was very annoying to her, and it was very inconvenienced. She was very inconvenienced for that. That's not a good sign of a good manager.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She didn't train her or want to evaluate her. So that's good. So I think your assessment, Tim, was right on. Disengaged. That would be the word for her. She's very much disengaged. Okay, so the next one to talk about is Vaughn. What is his contribution and what is going on with him? Sully or Sean, you want to talk about him a little?
I don't think there's much to say, really, right? He's just kind of a twerp. So I don't know,
I think that's a good.
Okay.
Does that sum it up? I don't know if there's really much to say about it.
He's just a problem. I mean, and ultimately they won't get rid of him because of the relationship that he has with the boss. I mean, he's one of those guys that will destroy anything good that can happen in the team. It won't happen simply because he's there. It would take a management to come in or somebody higher than the boss. Her name is. He's just that's a tough one. It's tough to do anything as a team or to get something going, some kind of unity or anything you would need to succeed as a team. It's tough to get going when you got like a rotten apple in there that's not doing too well. So.
Yeah, okay.
Aren't they equal positions?
No.
No?
He's an assistant and he's an associate.
Oh, okay.
So
very cool.
Maybe like one step up on that map. Was he like one step above? So. Okay.
Yeah. But as such, I say that his responsibility would be to help train her and not say, we're just so busy that we're not going to train you. And stay with it. Like, that's crazy. And then the other woman, her way of training was say, read these manuals and get caught up.
Right.
Don't you have more reading to do?
Multiple. She kept referring her, go read this product manual and go read this literature. I feel like every time she asked her a question or asked, is there something I could do, she was always saying, go read this or go get caught up on that.
Do you think that that would make it so it'd be hard for you to be assertive when you were dealing with people like that?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that was what she said she didn't do well, and I think for very good reason. Now, she probably still should have tried when they were in the other meetings with, you know, the other people, because, you know, Bautista noticed that she wasn't speaking up, as she had done at the beginning. But I think it would be really hard to be assertive and take initiative when you've got people that are keeping on the work that, you know, more administrative and copying and stuff like that, and don't value your input.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw something out here, and that's just because, you know, I think always backwards. But do people have to value your input because you've been hired, or do you have to eventually prove that your input is valuable?
I think it's one thing to have your input valued, and another thing to shut down, like consistently shut down, where it's not that they're saying, oh yeah, thank you for commenting it, you know, or in any way being kind. It's like, why, like, you're stupid. Why'd you say that? Like that was a ridiculous comment. Or, I mean, when she comes and asks her question, she sighs and she's like, oh, you again? And I'm like, you're coming to my office as if because she's a new hire, she shouldn't be there, like asking her questions. This whole assertive thing. So I think it's kind of tough. That's a tough one, because obviously I agree that you do need to prove yourself, but at the same time, there has to be some kind of initiative, like something to invite her to improve herself, or to, you know, to be more proactive. I mean, there's no luring, there's no wanting her to be better or to do better. It's more of just stay where you're at. Don't move.
Yeah, and she was getting mixed signals between Bautista said that he wanted her to be more vocal and participate more, and that's why he hired her, was for her knowledge and what she could bring to the table. And then on the other hand, it seemed like her boss didn't want her to be like that, but then when it came time to review her, she was like, but you need to do this. And so it was kind of mixed signals. She was trying to do what she felt was right, but I think all it was kind of giving her the impression she didn't want her to do that until then she had the review, and then she told her to do that. So it's like, what?
Yeah, it was like Follett was trying to hold her back, but Bautista was like, hey, you know how to do this stuff, do it.
Right.
You know, he's like, wants her to use her potential and use her skill. Follett's like, no.
Right. So obviously, Jolie, I think you're right. I think she has to get through that and kind of just do it anyways. But at the same time, if your boss is basically not cool with you doing that, then it's like hard to do that. Like, I don't know. It's just, she's stuck between those positions, in that position.
Okay, so I haven't worked in a corporate environment now for like 23 years, 22 years, I think. Okay, so when you have your review, or when you're talking with the Bautista, right, is his name?
Right.
And he's asking you to be more, I forget exactly what he's asking her, but he's telling her to use her strengths, right? And so if this is the case, could she not, is it improper, so you don't rat out your boss as being terrible, because then of course you look ridiculous. However, could you not say, I've tried this step and this step, how do you recommend I proceed with the personalities that I'm dealing with so that I can grow and they can, you know, would you not, you know, she had some opportunity, it sounds like, to address these things and to work with them directly, but it seems to me, and of course I've only, you know, not having a fantastic memory with this particular case, she didn't take those opportunities. She kind of let them slip, and I think that that's her responsibility. Granted, it's hard. I'll totally give that, but I also think that we have to take responsibility when we can in a diplomatic way, you know?
I would agree.
Yes, I would agree as well. When he pulled her aside, I think that she wasn't expecting it, so she didn't exactly have time to formulate her responses, so that's, you know, probably why she didn't say anything else, but she did have the opportunity, you're right, and he definitely was showing his support for her. She could have made an appointment to talk to him. She didn't want to. It's tricky because there's politics in any business environment, and she was worried that she'd come off as the complainer and the problem employee. And you can get labeled as that if you bring up personal relationship issues.
Right. So my question is, though, can you not come in from a position of that, of that position of not wanting to appear to be a whiner and a complainer, but looking for mentoring on how you can grow from, from those situations. I think that there's ways that you can frame that so that you can grow and then also learn how to manage yourself better so that you can improve in those situations. But that's me and my naivety,
What do you think, Sean or Tim?
I agree 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I was frustrated when I was reading that. I was like, what are you thinking? Like, say something, do something. Don't. Yeah, you can't be mad. When you get the opportunity to speak up or you get the opportunity to say something and you don't take it, you can't be upset when you keep getting treated like you are. It's like you don't step up to the plate, you can't complain. So I would agree, Joey, 100%.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And Tim, you agree as well?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Nothing's going to change if you don't say something.
I agree. I think that nothing in her situation would get any better if she didn't do something. And I think approaching it, like Jolie said, from like a standpoint of how can I deal with this? Can you give me some mentoring? Would be good. I just think that guy was like her boss's boss, so there is some politics there, but he wanted to mentor her, so she should take it. She should take the opportunity. What do you think, Emily?
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's similar situations that's been going on in my work for like 3 years now. It's ridiculous. There's drama between two departments. It doesn't matter who the supervisors are. There's tension between the departments. And right now, the supervisor in billing is having a hard time with the supervisor in titles, and he is coming up across the opposite way of what we're saying, going to our manager and saying, she's constantly doing this, she's constantly doing that, and is turning around and looking really bad on him. So I definitely agree. You need to approach it more in a way of, okay, this is the situation, what can I do to better the situation?
Right. If you approach it that way, I think that will be received well.
It comes off a lot better on you.
So that's a lesson for all of us if we're ever in that situation. Approach it in a way of self-reflection, and I think you'll get a lot more respect from whoever you're talking about it with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's always the rule, isn't it? You take the hit a little bit, or it doesn't even feel like you're taking a hit necessarily. If you frame things where you're allowing yourself to absorb that blame, that puts you in the position of looking like you're wanting growth. And it should be, it's not just that you want to look like you want growth. You should want growth. And so it's not just framing it to deceive, it's framing it to set yourself up to be in that position of growth and development. So it's just kind of, it works in both ways. It makes you not look incredibly stupid and whiny, and it also sets it up so people can help you not be stupid and whiny.
Yep, I agree. So if she was to choose to salvage the situation, what can she do to repair the situation? I think we kind of talked a little bit about, approaching Bautista, since he seems to want, her to succeed there and he's interested in her. She could approach him and ask for advice. What can she do to repair the relationship with Follett, Vaughn, and Beeman? Beeman's her boss's boss.
Wait, what's his name?
Beeman, B-E-M-A-N. He's the one below Bautista but above Follett.
Oh, that's right. Okay. That's right.
I don't think she ever brought in cookies or like bagels or anything. That could help.
Food bridges a lot of canyons.
Okay, do you guys want to know, this is like a stupid story that's somewhat related to that I didn't say that thinking about this, but it's a real example. So I had a daughter who was severely, severely disabled, and we were setting up her educational experience for her first year of official preschool, because they start at 3 years old when they're disabled. And so I went to a training, essentially, to be an advocate for her educationally. And in that training, they taught the parents. So I was cute and young back then, and, I had never been in that type of experience before. But they said, if you go to these big educational meetings, so you have 20 professionals, and then you're the parent, and of course you're stupid because you're the parent and you're not trained in all of these specialized departments. However, they taught us that if you bring a few plates of cookies, that softens everybody and brings everyone towards you. And so, granted, I don't think in this situation a plate of cookies is correct, but there is figurative plates of cookies you can bring to soften people's hearts, or real cookies, either way. But sometimes when you do something, a service of some sort, that can soften a position of others, you know.
I agree. That's a good idea. My mom worked as a substitute teacher in the schools, but prior to that, she was just a mom, and a mother. And she said that the switch between just a mom talking to the teachers and a substitute teacher who also worked in the school talking to the teachers, they treated her totally differently. So I can see where you're coming from with that story, where you're the mom and they're all professionals and.
Right. Well, and with that experience, though, also when you educate yourself and when you come with a good heart, people do respect you and they understand where you're coming from and the knowledge you have. And so that's the case as a mom in any situation, and that's also a case I recall those years ago in business. Is the more you are confident, the more you know, the more people will respect you, right out the gate. So.
Right.
Work on what you know. And being confident.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she can do that. What are the advantages of staying at Potomac Waters, right? What are the advantages of her staying?
I mean, I think the main advantage is just the exposure she would get, because it wasn't the pay or the benefits, because they said that it was less. But it's the exposure to products, it's exposure to the experience. It's a national brand versus a regional brand. You're going to have exposure to multiple brands the longer you stay. I think it's more of a long-term investment than a short, with not a short-term gain attached to it. Whereas if she would have gone with the pizza place, yeah, it had a higher salary. But you may not get the same, well, you probably would not get the same experience because you're just marketing the single product.
Right. Yeah, so basically the reasons that she chose the job in the first place would be the reasons why she should stay and tough it out, and I think things will improve. Fair assessment?
Yeah, I think things would change if there would take a lot of proactivity on somebody's part, perhaps Martha's. I don't know. It would be a tough situation because with Jamie or with either one, if you try to, let's say, go in and say, hey, I know you have a lot of years' experience. I'm new. I understand I have an MBA. However, I recognize that I lack in a lot of different situations. If she were to go in and say that to Jamie, if there's something going on between Jamie and his boss, that's tough because then the boss gets upset because it kind of feels like, she's taking my spot or whatever the case may be. And then if she goes and talks to the boss, it's tough because then Jamie might feel like she's kind of stepping over him or going to be put in his position or who knows what, threatened or whatever the case may be. So it's tough. It's definitely a sensitive situation. But I do think she can have a lot of success if she were to go to one of them and let them know, hey, I want to be mentored. Like I have a desire. I'm completely open to being mentored. I'd be curious to see what effect that would have on the whole situation. But.
Okay, looks like we lost Jolie, which is weird because she's the one that started this. So hopefully she can come back. I'll wait till I hear a text from her. Something. What are the disadvantages of her staying?
Politics.
She has to deal with it. If she ran away, essentially, if she left, she's running away from it. She's just going to run into another situation where she has to deal with people and figure things out. So, I mean, this is just an experience where she has to deal with people and figure things out, right?
Right.
But I don't think...
The thing is about a company that big is, yeah, it might suck right now, but give it...
Oh, here we are. Woo!
Okay.
That's a trip, so it just starts back where we were, huh?
Well, we were still talking while you were gone, but I saw you drive.
How weird.
Yeah.
You know,
Talking about the disadvantages of her staying.
yeah. So with that big company like that, things change, and you never know who's gonna quit, who's gonna leave. You know, with what's her name being disengaged, um, you know, she's who knows? She's probably looking for another job or quitting, one reason or another, or maybe moving departments. You never know. So you could have a new boss in a month or a week.
Yeah. Especially if she brings up some of the issues.
You hear she leaves, and then you're kicking yourself.
Yeah. So that's a disadvantage of, well, that's an advantage of salvaging the situation, is that things could change. So that's good. Anyway, okay, next, leave Potomac Waters. Okay, what if she chooses to do that? What are the advantages of leaving? Because nobody really in this group has said anything about, like, the idea of her leaving. Is that good? You know, does anybody actually think that she should do that?
I don't think so. I don't think she should.
The benefit she had over there is she knows the environment. She knew most of the people. She knew how they worked as a team, or their teamwork skills. I mean, I think there are some advantages just with the familiarity she had with it and the environment. Maybe lack of politics aren't as big of a deal over there. So, I mean, I guess those could be a couple of advantages.
Okay, disadvantages of leaving?
How long has she been in?
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say she's not going to have, like we talked about before, if she leaves, she's not going to get the same exposure at the other place as she is here. I mean,
The benefits, gotcha.
yeah.
I agree with that. What were you saying, Jolie?
How long has she been in this position?
4 months.
Yeah, I think that's pretty quick to give up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would look bad on a resume. Say things don't work out at Deep Dive, and she decides to go for something else, you know, within a year or two. People will be like, well, you worked there for 4 months, you only worked here for like a year and a half, what's the deal with you? Definitely not a good way to start your career.
And the company is called Deep Dive. That just,
That sounds
Emergency alert.
tornado thing.
Active investigation in progress. What does that mean?
Probably an Amber Alert.
Okay, my husband's going to look into that. And we'll finish our... I don't think there's bad weather tonight, so I don't know what it is. Okay, okay. So let me just share with you guys what happened, what actually happened, which isn't much. They just gave me 3 bullet points, but this is what happened. She chose to stick it out, so she did not leave. Follett and Bond both left the company shortly, and Rinaldi learned that Follett had been job hunting during Rinaldi's time there. So you are totally on the money, Pam. You win the clairvoyance award. No, but you were totally like, she's disengaged. Maybe she's looking for jobs elsewhere. I'm just like, he's got it. He knows. That's exactly what was going on. So then Rinaldi had 2 new bosses who admired her work and relied on her, and she was promoted ahead of schedule. So things worked out because she chose to stick it out. So lessons learned. What did she learn about herself? Obviously, she can do hard things. I always say that. I can do hard things.
Isn't that speculation like 100%? Like, that's crazy to ask that. What did she learn, the fictional character? You know?
I don't know. What have you learned about yourself and what motivates you at work? Anything?
For me, a lot lately. So I have my internship starting up next semester, which I'm just using my job for that. But it's kind of put a whole new perspective on my job and made me think way more about my long-term career. And with this case, I mean, like I mentioned, there's always drama at my workplace, and that's a big reason why I'm like, oh my gosh, as soon as I get my degree, I can go get a job somewhere else that probably will pay more. But that's really the only reason that I want to leave. Other than that, it's a great job, and so with this case, it's made me kind of see things in that perspective, and just if it has good opportunities for you, for your experience and your resume and whatnot, stick it out despite any drama and try to look at yourself and see how you personally can fix the problem.
There you go. Very good. And then let's see, world application. How can you apply the principles learned in this case study? Like principles of power within an organizational structure. And then there's this quote, it said that people don't leave a company, they leave a boss. Why do you think that is? I think that's very true. I think people, I think your boss can make your life very difficult at work. And you have the upper hand because they're in a power position. So it can be very difficult and demotivating. And didn't you say, Tim, that you left a company because of the way that the managers were doing things kind of shady?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was why I ended up, that's why I ended up leaving. I left CarMax for run, I guess.
But it was the people and their actions.
Yeah, like the guy who was, huh?
You're breaking up.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that better? Yeah, the guy who was assigned to train me just, he was like Follett. He was like not always engaged, didn't really care. Like he would check up on me maybe like once a month. And so I'd go to other people when I had questions. I was like, forget it, I don't need this guy. I'd go to other people and they were more than helpful. And some of them even were like, if you need anything, come to me, because he's not going to help you. But he needed, like, in order for him to be promoted, he needed to train me. And so, like, in my final evaluation before I was promoted, I had to fill out a thing on him, and I had to be honest. And I was like, yeah, he helped, but I got help from, John, Steve, Mark, and so, because he wasn't available. He wouldn't get back to me. I had to list out a bunch of reasons, and I think it delayed him being promoted, and I think I'm sure he was pissed, but that was his own fault. So
well, that's good you had the opportunity to evaluate him, because you don't always get that opportunity. So if you're in a similar situation, how can you be proactive in managing your own work satisfaction? I think we touched on this before. If you communicate in a way of not whining, but like trying to improve yourself and like just trying to work within the organization and show that you are wanting to make things work, I think things can work out for you. So I think that we kind of already touched on that. Anybody wanted to add anything? No? All right. Any final thoughts? Because I think we've pretty much done this case to death.
I think we added way more to this case than was even written, because this one was a little sad.
Yeah. No, but I think you learned a lot. I think, Jolie, some of the things you're a wise woman.
No, just old.
But you have experience, and you've learned from that experience, and that shows in your comments. So I appreciate your comments.
Thanks.
And I think that's why we have these meetings, is so we can learn from each other. So hopefully we all learn from each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the goal, right?
Yes, that is the goal.
Yep.
But you guys always make me think differently about the case. Well, maybe not always, but a lot of times, than what I did when I read it. So, because having other people's perspective really does help.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think it's handy to have the write-ups due after the meetings, after we have a chance to have a meeting, just so that you can think about it a little bit deeper. It sinks differently once you have a chance to vocalize it to another human being.
I think, regardless of the meeting, which I agree with you that it does help, I think having more time to think about it helps too. So it's both things. So I'm glad that that was switched so that we can kind of have more time to think about it. And I like doing my reading assignment first, personally, and then doing the case study because it was kind of backwards before.
Mhm.
That's just me, maybe.
Nope.
Especially the first week. Do the case study. That's the first thing you got to do. Do it in in a couple days or the second week.
Mhm.
The first 2 weeks. I'm like, wait, I haven't even read the book yet.
Mhm.
So anyway, all right. Well, thank you guys for all participating. Appreciate it. And if there's anything else anyone wants to say, speak now, or we're gonna say goodnight.
Who's the leader next week?
Ah, good question.
Emily.
Yep, it's Emily.
Emily. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys want me to pull up the meeting again next week?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Everyone's like, yeah.
I'm gonna try and get on the phone and just. I've got a layover, I think, in Denver, so
Okay,
I think it'll be.
Yeah. Let us know. One way or another if we can make it.
You know what, Tim? You look like a very important businessman if you're having a meeting in the airport. It'll look really cool.
It's funny because I always am like, you're not that important when I see those people in the airport. It's like you don't need to be doing all that crap. Just relax.
Little do you know their grade depends on it.
Right. And then I'm the one over there doing that video conferencing in the airport. Like, I'm just trying to get a good grade.
Okay, so Jolie, you have the link to this. So are you going to post it to the discussion board, or do you want to email it to me and I can post it since I'm the leader?
Why don't I email it to you so you can post it just so that it looks better,
Right.
for everybody. That way, if we're posting individually, I think that looks better than if I'm doing it every week. So I'll email that to you and we'll be all hot stuff.
Thank you.
Cool. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. That was so much fun.
Safe travels, Tim.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Okay. Let's see.
Later.